This is getting very interesting here. So, yeah, we're getting the fifth wave here. Like I said in the last video, we're getting that fifth wave, but straight up from 519 to 529 makes new highs in one day. I had TQQQ. I sold around resistance here. I wasn't really, I kept a little bit of it, but I was expecting something like this and then pull back and then go up here to 537. It looks like it's going to go straight there. So it's interesting because I expected this to be the end of the move from August, but I expected it to take a little bit longer than what it is. It could still take longer. It could still do this, but the odds are the higher it goes. It already hit 530, which is actually the highest resistance. I don't think it's going to go any higher today. And so if 537 is the target, we're already at 537 on the 1.61 fib. That would be a third wave. So I'm kind of thinking like a lot of these stocks are not done yet. They're not done with their moves. AMD is one of them that's not done with their move. Tesla is basically done with this move. Nvidia potentially not done with this move. Kind of hard to say 100% on Nvidia though. But I'm thinking that there's a chance this turns into being a 333, which would be 333 would be this. Into January, because if we're already up here and it's only December 11th, it doesn't really make that much sense to me. So why would it go higher though? The 1.61 fib of this move right here is at 561. And so if this hits 537, it could consolidate for a little bit after maybe New Year's into early January, and then take off throughout January up to 561, and then that could be the top. Because I look at stocks like AMD, and this stock right here, I already have it drawn up here, it's not bouncing at all. And is it going to continue just going lower? Let's say the NASDAQ tops. Is this going to just continue to go lower down to 90 bucks? 175 down to 90 bucks for no reason? No, that's not going to happen. So there has to be a bounce at some point, but it's not bouncing when the NASDAQ's going up. So when's it going to bounce? So what I'm thinking is this tops out, starts correcting. AMD doesn't actually start bouncing yet. It keeps on going down with the NASDAQ correcting, and then when the final move goes up, we get AMD back up here to like 150, and then when the NASDAQ actually falls hard, this goes down here to 90. I haven't done this chart yet, but I think this is a fourth wave overall. This is a fourth wave overall, and here's basically my count: 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we get an extension of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So I think the AMD is going to bounce back to 150 probably by the end of January, but I don't think it's going to bounce anytime soon. I think it's going to stay down for the next couple of weeks, while the NASDAQ most likely finishes this move and then dips into January. So AMD is going to suck for a couple more weeks, probably into January, and then all of a sudden it's going to bounce back to 150, and then it's going to sell off probably into March or April down to 90 is what I see. Mara is just garbage. Bitcoin is up. Let's see here. Bitcoin's up 4% today, and Mara is up 2%. Last time Bitcoin was at 100,000 was on December 8th, and this was at $27. Actually, the highest point was on November 29th, and I'm pretty sure this was at a low. Where's it at? This thing is completely controlled by options. Okay, so it was at 98,000 when Mara was at 30, and now it's at 101 and Mara's at 23. The stupidest stock of all time. Doesn't make any sense. I'm glad that I don't have, I'm just selling puts on this and not trying to trade it because it would drive me crazy. And I think it's going to bounce next week though. It has positive GEX. It should go back up close to 30 bucks. But again, this stock is just all over the place, doesn't make one bit of sense, and I'm glad I'm not trading it. Tesla is finishing up this fifth wave. As I said in the video yesterday, I'm looking for a correction from here. It can go to 425 today, finish off that move, and then I'm looking for a fourth wave. We go to 425. Then I would expect this to potentially come all the way down here to, I said 320 in the video. I'm just looking for a fourth wave. I'm not looking for any kind of crash and like that. I think a fourth wave makes a lot of sense. Could it happen that this makes a fourth wave if the NASDAQ comes back down here to like 520? It's kind of a good question. I don't think so though. I think it's more likely it's going to be like this. I think it's going to be like this. Down into January, early January, bounce with the market throughout January, and then down through like March, like that. Potentially down to like 320 or so. So I do think that Tesla is going to dip initially over the next couple of weeks, and then I think a bounce throughout January and then all the way through March or February, fourth wave, and then I think we're going to get a fifth wave higher on Tesla up here to 577. That's my current number one view on Tesla. So I'll go over it more in depth when we get in smaller time frames when it actually happens, but it's probably going to top out here in the next couple, I would say by the end of this week actually. FedEx, I sold some puts on that. That's why it's up there. NVIDIA, again, same thing as AMD. Not expecting this one to go anywhere anytime soon. It's probably going to follow the same playbook as AMD. There's a supply zone up here, so maybe it comes up here and then dips lower. I don't know. My count on this one is a little bit, I don't feel 100% confident in my count right now on this. So maybe this will end up being like a deeper fourth wave, but I think it's going to follow the AMD playbook. And then in January, it will ramp up. So again, it's 2.4% up, but it's very weak lately as the NASDAQ has just been absolutely taking off. So overall, in general, I've taken profit on a lot of my sold puts, and I just don't see any value in selling puts when the NASDAQ is up 2% and hitting in the fifth wave. I don't even see any stocks to sell puts on anymore. Like all the stocks that are on that I looked at are either garbage stocks or they're stocks that are at their highs. I have no stocks to sell puts on anymore. I was selling them on the miners. MSTR, I took profit on all those. Let's go over coin. Coin probably going to follow the same playbook as AMD and NVIDIA. But I do think this is going to go back up here to 400 probably by the end of January. Not sure what's going on here. Maybe it turns out to be a triangle. It could be something like that, and then it goes up. It doesn't look like it wants to go, but maybe I'm wrong. Bitcoin looked like it was ready to go. Let's go to Bitcoin. And Mars is supposed to go to 30 next week. So I would be surprised if this hit, or this broke this low. I thought this was the end of the fourth wave. But let's draw it one more time and just show where let's see if it crossed the parallel line yet. So it's all the way out here. So this technically could still be a B wave, and it comes down one more time. Something like that, and then goes up here. My target's 115 basically for the end of the third wave. And again, that will probably happen in January. I think sometime in January we hit 115,000. And then we'll have this corrective move down here into March, April. And then who knows after that? A fifth wave. We could get an extension for a fifth wave throughout 2025. So who knows how high it could go. But I think there's more upside in Bitcoin. But it just kind of, does it want to finish the third wave here? It's looking like not. Because the NASDAQ, it's going to follow the NASDAQ, the market pretty much. I don't expect Bitcoin to go to 115,000 while this is pulling back. So maybe we get more chop and down into late December and then a move up. So I'm going to leave it at that for this update. That kind of gives you a general idea of what I'm expecting from here. Basically expecting the NASDAQ to pretty much be topped out here and expecting a pullback. If it ends up being the top at 537, or even here, it made 5 waves, and we get a big move down, that would be a big warning sign. But I think I'm following this one more. We come down here probably back to 517 to this gap fill, and then at 517 we take off to 560 into January. And then we get a big correction probably into like March, April. So that's it for this video. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe for more updates. Catch you in the next video.